Seventh grade, mathematics. Good to see you. My name is Mr. Maximum Power, and I'm here making a video about areas of composite figures with my assistant, G-Biz. So, just to jump right into it, it's good to see you. The area of a triangle. Just to remind you that the area of a triangle is equal to 1/2 the base times the height. You've known this, I know that you practiced it last year, but a simple example problem. Here's a right triangle. It's called a 3, 4, 5 right triangle. And when you want the area, we're going to take 1/2 the base times the height. You can see the base here. I've labeled it as B. The base is 4 and the height is 3. So 1/2, 4 times 3, which is 6 square centimeters or square centimeters. You can write them either way. I would like you to try and get in the habit of saying square centimeters, because when students are always saying centimeters squared, they always want to square things they shouldn't be squaring. So just say square centimeters. Remember, it's just like we just grid it out and find out how many square centimeters will fit in that little guy. Okay, example 2. Area is equal to 1/2 the base times the height. It's just a little different problem here. We have the height measured like this as an altitude. This is called an altitude of the triangle versus a side length, right? So area is 1/2 the base of 18 times 5, 9 times 5, or 45 square meters. Example 3. This one's a little different.
Nautical miles.
Remember that the formula is 1/2 the base times the height, no matter how that triangle is kind of situated. We can call this the base, and then this is the height, and still use the formula. This one is measured in nautical miles. So 1/2 the base of 3 times 7 is 21 halves, or 10 1/2 square nautical miles. Okay? That's some simple examples of a triangle. Extending what we know about a triangle to a parallelogram, you may recall a parallelogram is a quadrilateral, a 4-sided polygon with opposite sides parallel and congruent. If you have a parallelogram, the area is just the base times the height. It's just base times height, and you can realize that if you take this little triangle, maybe remove him and put him over here. Oops, not I'm going to put him there. Take this guy and put him here. And now we have a rectangle. Area is 1/2 base times height. Okay, so see a parallelogram? Pretty simple, just like a rectangle. Now, a little more applied problem. This has some folks building some sort of countertop here, and we want to know what is the area of the countertop. So this one, I'm going to ask my assistant G-Biz to help us. Assistant.
What? What assistant again?
If you watched any of our recordings that we're doing, he's been getting very, very argumentative with me. He won't come up here to the board.
I have been coming up there.
But yet gets mad when I call him the assistant. So I'm going to ask my colleague to come up to the board if he so would choose to do this problem for us. It's all you. We're kind of in this together. This was my idea. People like him more than me. I don't have to be the assistant. Kind of the brains. I came up with all these problems that he asked me to work on these videos. I just want you to know that. Wow, this is kind of a doozy. Remember that one thing I've been asking you to do is not do a little bit of math over here, maybe finding the area of this thing, and then come over here and find the area of this, and then come over here and find the area of this. I asked you not to do that. I want you to do things all at once. I'm just looking for something here. I lost a piece of information from the problem. I'll just make something up. There we go. So this question says, find the area of the countertop. And so please try to do everything at once. So I'm going to just look at these and find some shapes here. Okay, I'm going to call this shape number 1. This is the same one. So I'm going to call that shape number 1. Here we have a little rectangle. let's call it shape number 2. Oh geez, we can do this guy like this. Oops, and find this big rectangle. Ooh, we're gonna have to subtract this guy out because that is a sink. We don't need to make a countertop there. So that's area 4. We're gonna subtract that. Ooh, and this one left is very interesting. Notice now we have 2 rectangles here, but they haven't told me how long this rectangle is, nor have they told me how long this rectangle is. So that's an interesting piece. Notice that if we find the area of this whole big piece and subtract out area 4, we will have it. So I will call, we'll just make use of it. So let's start with this. This is pi r squared. This is 1/4 of a circle, so we have 2 of them. So I'm going to write that we have 2 pieces that look like 1/4 of the area of a circle, which is 1/4 pi times 7 squared in this case. Radius is 7. Plus this little piece, this is 18 by 7, minus, oops, no, we're still adding, plus this piece. This has a length of 20 and then a length of 16, so a total length of 36 inches. And it is 36 by 18 times plus 7, so 32 inches. So we're going to add 32 times 36. Now we're to this rectangle piece, and so I'm going to add plus 50 times 16. That's the whole big piece, but I need to subtract out the countertop, or the sink, excuse me, which is 17 times 16. Okay. And there you go. So you're going to punch this into your calculator and find out the answer to this. If I asked you to find the exact area, remember this is 2 times 1/4, which is 1/2. And this is 7 squared, so we have 49 pi, and then there's going to be some other number here, and that would be the exact answer. Remember, if you're an engineer, you like exact answers. If you are going to tell about Mr. Burgess at the hardware store how many square feet of material you need, then you're going to find the approximate answer and tell them you need about so many square feet of tile. Anything more you want me to enlighten them with, Professor?
He messed that up, you know. He, meaning I, on that one. That should have been 49 halves pi, but whatevs.
Good job. Good job. I couldn't have done it any better. Thank you for your help. It's not so bad. I'm telling you, you just get into a rhythm of it, and people, it's not that people don't like you. You just have to kind of reach out to them. You know, you're learning. We're all learning. I hope you can see that. So, 7th grade mathematicians, I'm going to give you a Google form link that will have 4 or 5 area composite problems on them. Good luck with them. Take your time. Ask me, get a hold of me, email me immediately if you have any questions. I'm here to help you out. I'm just here all day waiting because, yeah. So, goodbye.